What's up, everybody? I'm back again, a little bit more regular right now. Couple videos in the same week. I have my coffee, so I'll pour myself a cup here. Today, I will be doing a request, which is a new HIPHOPologist and VINAK, who I'm not familiar with. I assume he's Turkish. A new song called IRANI Turkish. I have not listened to this. We'll see what it is. It's very new. It got requested, so I'm trying to get back into this a little bit, and I always enjoy Farsi hip-hop, so I thought I'd give it a listen. Before I jump in, a couple things. As always, I am not a professional, nor do I speak Farsi, nor do I speak Turkish. I have been, in fact, to Turkey. I've been to Istanbul, spent a couple days there. Not enough to learn the language. So please don't expect me to be commenting too much on the lyrical content. Also, I would like us to all be polite and kind in the comments. You may not like my thoughts or you may not like my energy, but let's at least try to be kind to one another. Life is hard enough as it is. With that out of the way, let's get right into it. This is IRANI Turkish by HIPHOPologist and VINAK. Beat by Ashkan Kagan, who's one of my favorite Iranian producers. And this is not a video. I don't know if there is a full video, but this is just a still.
شب دیگه پرده رو نمیکشم من تا همسایه صبح رو من فنم بزنم توشم میبینن لایوم بغل پنجره دود میشه علفم من زندان نمیخوام برم ولی اینو با جب میدنم با اون تفنگ تالو گنجش کشتی بیارید شوترم باش خط میزنم شما نهایت دوم سومی هر کاری من میکنم برید باش فرق نرش امرو رو بشید تا شد بعد من با سسش برید داشت مچ میکنم با مندم گالاتا زنگ زدم سفید بیاره ناتاشا مندمم ترکمم بلوچی تو بنز میبرنم اکسارا قد اجراست تو میگه داشی راکی بزنی نمیتونی پاشی عکس میگیرم با همه جا با بچه مازندران نیشان داشتی شامو میزنی ممار چون منیجرم میشینه برایتون میپرسه اجرای بعدی کجاست اون کلالی بهش میگه فرانکفورت رفا رو کردم معامله است کنگ شما جوجه و واسم خاطر است تو خیابون بودم از 2005 واسه همینه چپم سابقه میگم مادی هم تو مادی ها تو هم لاتی ولی لای فامیلا شما هم یه اینم ما دوتا پشم نکشین تا بال میگه خطر برنگه تهران ولی گنگ شد نمیبرتم زندان ساب کلاب بهم میگه ماسکیوره تیکت فروختی بیشتر از تکنال اسپانسر میگیرن دیس بدن ولی مسیرم نمیبینه دمج کش خوب بکوبم میکنیم منج دفعه بعد اجرا میذارین تو سوج با فلو کپی نمیفروشی بیلی خاطر از اونی که میگید همه فلوهاتون شبیه یکیه بگو اون کلاس کجاست میرید با فلو کپی نمیفروشی بیلی خاطر از اونی که میگید همه فلوهاتون شبیه یکیه بگو اون کلاس کجاست میرید
سال موده لفظامون همه جای تهران پره گنگ برسام دوبی کانکام لاتی استانبول گنگ میرسم از ساری ارفاتی بیا دست بزن با ریل کنیم نمیزنیم خالی بهت داشت برای گوله میاد شیشه ماشینت پایین کشیدم پاساران تا اکسارای رفیقام آنکاران تا مارمارا بعد دیگه کار بالاس بارکاداش پرشال پاندانان با ماندالا یکی جلو تش جاندارماس به پایم لو نره جاساز باز پس بریم همینو تا ماسرا گاز چون شده مالتپال کاتراس امشبو میزنم فرود تو گلوب سرکیمسیم بروز تو چجو بار بیه میگه شب مست کنیم شیشلی بعدش میام با سروش تو کلوب رفیقام زود میان اپاق جیلار میبرم بدخور و شباف جیلار گرونه داشت مثل الماس فینال میرسم اروپایی از آسیا سر میکشم یه لیوان آبجو با ورسای سر بد ویناک سالتو صافرا میرم تو ایران کار کن چاقال نگیر فاضلیان شامپو دستم رو نمیشه قط پایدن با یه امانتی بهت میگم گونایدن اگه خواستی بیای شمو سایلنت چون بهت گیر میدم اندازه سایمن با فلو کپی نمیفروشی بلیت اینم نصیحت بدون کلیک ایران ما رو میذاره رو ریپیت صدامون داروه بدون ویزیت با فلو کپی نمیفروشی بلیت اینم نصیحت بدون کلیک ایران ما رو میذاره رو ریپیت صدامون داروه بدون ویزیت
اینا صبر همه عدم عشق مواد تو صندوقان کپ میکنن گنگ استانبول بشنوه ادش با میره اردوغان منو دارن گنگای تو ازمیر واسه کلیر میکنن تیکه شاید ماچت کنه رضا پیکه شگیرایی من جرار پیکه نه با من قدی نه با من کلاس فقط یه چاقالی که شده شناس ما رو متهم میکنه به اسنیش بایو پیج شبی مخبراست مخاطب خاص نیست مخاطب عامه فقط یکی بالامه اونم لامپه هر کی با هر کی بار سرشاخشه یه مفرست دنبال جیمی جامپه
بینی بام به برق نمیگیره منو 100 میلیون پر وینچستر و قیب کن کریس آنجل میشی تارگت با فندک میخورن سیبیلات که اسم میدی آدرس در میری چارتر هر کاری کنی که این باسی نمیاد بد فریکات چرت برق میکشم تو رو مینی ماینر بعد منو دو کیپه فلوکستینی رفیقاتو میفروشی اکس ببینی رسیدم ترکیه یه رب زمینی باید جفت زانو جلوم بشینی فلامنگو گوست رایدره پک چاقال بچه بگو استاد بند میاد بام به بکتر اکثریم شد موه استان درد با فلا کپی نمیفروشی بلیت اینم نصیحت بدون کلیک ایران ما رو میذاره رو ریپیت صدامون داروه بدون ویزیت
با فلو کپی نمیفروشی بیلی خاطر از اونی که میگی همه فلوها تو شبیه یکیه بگو اون کلاس کجاست میرید
All right. As I said up top, I cannot comment on lyrics. Obviously, I don't understand enough about what's going on to really speak to the content of the song. I can speak to what I like about it. I can speak to what appeals to me. Beat, great. I like Ashkan Kagan. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I'm never sure if I should say Kagan. In America, we would say Kagan probably. But this is not an American name, so I want to be respectful and get it right. Really like the beat. I've always liked HIPHOPOLOGIST, or HIPHOPOLOGIST, as he says his own name. VINAK, I'm not familiar with. I'll tell you the truth, I'm not confident enough in my knowledge of the differences between Turkish and Farsi to be able to tell if they were both singing in Farsi or if VINAK was singing in Turkish. I don't know if VINAK is Turkish. He might also be Iranian. I know that I was looking this video up, and I know that the president of Turkey just came to Iran to meet with the leader of Iran. So I imagine this song has something to do with cooperation or relations between Iran and Turkey. I politically am not a fan of what's happening in Turkey. I tend to lean more towards open-mindedness, open education, liberal, right? Which not everybody agrees with, and then fair enough, right? We come from different places, we come from different backgrounds. I was raised very, very, very conservatively in the Christian movement that is very close to women wearing head coverings in church. And in fact, when I've been in India and spent some time there when I was younger, the women who we attended, who were at church services that my father was speaking at, would have their heads covered. So very conservative. Obviously, there are still differences between Christianity, Islam, even on the conservative ends of the spectrum, but pretty in agreement on like many of the sort of similar beliefs, the place of women being one of them. But I'm not I don't believe in those things anymore. And I'm much more interested in taking an open-minded approach to the world, trying to see the value in everyone's culture, everyone's background, everyone's philosophy. There are some that I am not interested in. All right, I try to understand, but I don't agree with. And that's all anybody can really ask for. You don't have to agree with everything, but it's worth trying to understand it. I don't support fascism. I don't support authoritarianism. I don't support a theocracy. I really don't support consolidated power at the top, regardless of what political or religious system it is. I don't think that's healthy. So my thoughts on Turkey are disappointment mostly, because this has been a shift in the last 15 years, 10 years, 15 years, from frankly similar to the sort of shift that Iran dealt with in the 70s and 80s, going from a fairly liberal, open-ish culture to a much more religiously regulated culture. I don't like that. I don't like to see people's freedoms being removed in the name of God, whichever God it is. That's my opinion, right? That's easy for me to say. But so I don't know. I know that there is, how shall we put it, conflict in the Middle East. Another way to put that would be an ongoing genocide being perpetrated against the Palestinian people. And tensions in the region are understandably high. My country has, for a decade, 2 decades maybe, been looking for justifications to go to war with Iran. I don't support this movement myself. I have no power, but if it was up to me, we wouldn't take that step. But I know that there have been American service members killed in, I think in Syria, or I think it was in Syria. And now we're bombing Houthi rebels in Yemen, and we're officially not at war. We're officially not escalating the conflict. It's not a broader conflict. It's a regional conflict with multiple different things popping up. But it's looking very much like there will be widespread conflict in the Levant, and there will be U.S. troops on the ground. Again, I'm a civilian. I don't know these things to be true. I'm just speaking on what I can see. And what I can see is that our foreign policy wing is largely hawkish. And it makes me sick. It makes me sick to think about escalating a military conflict in order to protect a country that is committing a genocide. A widely publicized on social media genocide. They're saying it with their own mouths. This is not speculative. They are coming right out and saying, we want to kill them all or move them all to somewhere else. Let some other Arab country take them. Which forced resettlement is part of genocide. You don't have to kill everybody. You just have to try to kill everybody. Try to remove them. Not all the Native Americans were killed, right? There are still Native Americans in the U.S., but they don't live where they used to live. Their children got adopted by white families, raised as white children, to take out the Native American in their heritage. Cultural genocide is just as real as physical genocide, I suppose. And I oppose genocide wherever it pops up. I oppose genocide that's, the Armenian genocide. A lot of people don't want to talk about that one. A lot of people don't like when you bring that up. But that was my country won't even acknowledge it. I think we have maybe unofficially acknowledged it now. We have a lot of Armenians in America, and we still won't say anything about it. But I will, it doesn't affect my life to come out against it. I'm anti-genocide, and you can quote me on that. I'm also anti-war. I'm not a pacifist. I don't believe that every problem can be solved with dialogue, because that would be foolishness. But I prefer dialogue. I prefer trying to reach mutually beneficial compromise, to understand the circumstances of both sides and come to an agreement that allows you to move forward as opposed to picking up a gun. And, loss of life in war is sad. Not as sad as loss of civilian life, because soldiers, for the most part, signed up. And I don't have a lot of concern. If you sign up to be in the military, you sign that check, right? The consequences are what the consequences are. But in a war, it's not just the military that's affected. And it's the families of people who are in the military. In some cases, it's unrelated civilians. You know, the history of U.S. drone strikes in places like Iran, Syria, Yemen, Lebanon have not been 100% military targets. And it is very, very understandable that people would not take kindly to U.S. intervention and would resist it violently. I'm not here to condemn that. I hope that we don't see the conflict that I see coming. And I hope that everybody is able to find a way, because sometimes it is just about finding a way to save face. How can I back down from my position in a way that doesn't make me look bad? How can I give up my militant posturing without risking losing the trust of the people who back me? And that's hard on both sides, right? If you're the leader in Iran, you need to be bold and make statements about how you're going to protect the country, protect the Iranian people, maybe even protect Muslims in the region. I don't really know what the Iranian state line is, but I assume there is a little bit of that protectionism in the region where it's like, we're not going to just look out for us. We also are going to take care of Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, wherever. And when you are provoked, it can be hard to step back and say, we're not actually going to take military action. It makes you look weak, or it can make you look weak if you don't have a good enough justification for it. And that's on both sides. That's on my side as well, right? Our government doesn't want to look weak. We don't want to look intimidated. And so you have a manhood measuring contest, we'll say. And at the end of the day, sometimes bombs get dropped on innocent people. And I would like us to be able to avoid that. If you want to give me context for this video that I am not aware of, I would certainly be happy to hear it. I always appreciate thoughtful comments. I try to respond to comments that give me good information. Don't expect these to be frequent. They probably won't be, but I was already making a video today and I thought I'll do another one while I'm at it. Thank you guys for watching anyway. I appreciate it. Giving me 15-20 minutes of your time just to listen to my thoughts, listen to a little music. Be safe, everybody. Solidarity forever with the oppressed of every nationality and religion. And don't talk to cops.